Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I really wanted to do a Christmas kind of makeup tutorial, which is going to be perfect to wear actually on Christmas Day or around the festive kind of time. So I'm going to do this tutorial as a drugstore tutorial just to make all of the products super inexpensive and easily accessible if you wanted to pick any of these products up. You can get them from like Superdrug or Boots and they're going to be super inexpensive. And yeah, I also want this tutorial to be really super kind of quick and easy but still pretty. I really just want it to be realistic to what you would actually do on Christmas Day. Like, I'm not going to make this too kind of complicated or, you know, detailed or anything like that, because realistically, who's got time to be doing their makeup on Christmas Day for like an hour? I want to be downstairs eating the pigs in a blanket, do you know what I mean? So it's going to be just like a quick glam for Christmas. I'm going to use some like golds on the eyes to make it super festive and pretty, but it's not going to take you like an hour, you know, to do it. It's probably going to take you like 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm going to do my full face today, so this is going to be quite a kind of in-depth tutorial. Okay, so the first product I'm going to go in with is obviously my moisturizer, because it's best to start off with your moisturizer when doing any makeup look. This is the Boots Vitamin C Brightening Moisturizing Cream. This is super inexpensive. I picked this up from Boots for literally, I think it was like £3 or £4, and I personally really like it. I think it leaves your skin nice and glowy. It doesn't feel greasy on the skin. So yeah, that's left my skin feeling really nice and kind of hydrated but also glowy. As you can see, it's got a really nice kind of glowy finish to it. I also do like this cream to use overnight as well, so it hasn't got any SPF, so if you did want to use it kind of overnight, then you can do that. Obviously at this point you'd probably go in with your SPF, but I'm literally not leaving my house. So people always comment this on my videos, like, where's your SPF? I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'm in lockdown, I'm inside. Like, don't worry, I protect my skin when I go outside, but I'm not going to put SPF on because it's just a waste of product. Oh, it's becoming a thing now that she just wants to sit on my lap every single YouTube video. Are you going to say hello then? Oh, sorry, Baba. I'm actually not going to use primer for this video because, to be honest, primer is just an added step that I just don't really think is hugely necessary, especially if you're kind of doing your makeup in a little bit more of a rush. So I'm going to go straight into a foundation. This is actually the Revolution Pro CC Perfecting Foundation. This has got SPF 30. I really like this product. Actually, it's very comparable to my Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Foundation, which I love. I have this in the shade F2.5. To start off with, I'm just going to take like one pump. Actually, that's really not a lot of product. I'm going to take 2 pumps. I don't like putting too much of this on because I find that sometimes it can go a little bit like streaky on the skin if you put sort of too much on, if you apply it with a brush, I mean. I'm going to be applying this with my favourite brush for foundation, which is the Real Techniques 302 brush. I spoke about this in my brushes video, and actually so many of you messaged me and said that you got this brush because I mentioned it in that video and that you really like it. So I'm so glad if you bought this and you really like it from my recommendation. I love it when I recommend things and then you guys message me and you're like, I love it, because it just makes me feel so good. So it just buffs the foundation on so nice and so effortlessly and quick. So I'm kind of just using like swiping motions to just kind of put this on my skin. I sort of find that this is like the quickest way to apply foundation as well. So if you are trying to do your makeup, you know, a little bit more quickly, then applying it with a brush, I personally find is a little bit quicker than a beauty blender. And if you do have any streaks or anything like that, then you can just kind of pat over the top with a beauty blender after, and it's a lot quicker. Right, so this is the coverage that I've got from that CC cream. I actually didn't even use that full 2 pumps that I pumped out. I probably got like a whole pump left, so I did waste product there, and this is the coverage that it's given me. So it's a really nice kind of, I would say, medium to full coverage. You could always build this up, but I personally like leaving it like this, and then I'm going to go in with concealer sort of as and where I need it. And also the colour match of this is a really good shade for me. So you can see it does match my neck pretty well, even though I would usually probably prefer to be a bit darker than this, but I'm realistically not. This is literally like my perfect shade. So now for concealer, I'm going to go in with this one. I spoke about this in my last video, which was my favourites video. This is the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer 16 Hour Wear. I have this in the shade 5, and this is a really good kind of medium to full coverage concealer from the drugstore. So I'm just going to pop quite a generous amount of this under my eyes because I do have quite dark under eyes, and I do like my under eyes to be quite sort of concealed. This is the area of my face that I prefer to be like the most full coverage out of everywhere. And then I'm just going to do the 2 little thingamajigs at my eyes, which I feel like help my eyes to look a little bit more kind of feline and lifted. And then I'm just going to go in with my Juno & Co microfiber sponge and blend this out. I really need to clean this sponge. Honestly, I haven't cleaned this sponge in so long, which is so disgusting. I don't even know what's wrong with me, but I just can't bring myself to do it. You know when you know you need to do something, but you just can't actually bring yourself to do it, and I don't know why. It would literally take me not even 2 minutes. But anyway, this sponge is really good for blending out like concealer and foundation. I actually really like it. I think I do prefer the microfiber sponge to like the usual sponges. I just think it looks a little bit more flawless when you blend it out. Right, so now for powder, I'm going to go in with my RCMA No Colour powder. I recently kind of rediscovered this. I kind of forgot about it a little bit, and I've kind of been sort of using it here and there again recently, and I've realised again how good this powder is. It's such a good powder, and this tub is huge, and it's about £11 for the whole tub. This will literally last you years, and it's such a good powder. And yeah, I'm basically just going to press this underneath my eye. So I'm almost going to bake my under eye. This is completely optional, obviously you don't have to do this, but I am going to do it because my under eyes always crease so much, especially if I'm wearing my makeup for a long period of time. So I've just found for me personally, if I pack on a lot of powder underneath, that is the best way to prevent that. And where this powder is quite kind of finely milled and light, it doesn't really look too heavy under the eyes as well. So I'm just going to go in with quite a generous layer of that and really like press that in to my skin. Now I'm just going to take a little bit more of that powder on a brush, and I'm just going to kind of set the rest of my face. I don't usually set my face sort of too much. I do like my skin to look quite glowy for the most part, but I am going to go in with powder products now because I personally just find that powder products are a little bit easier to work with, and no one wants to be faffing around with cream contour on Christmas Day, you know? You just want to quickly put your makeup on for it to look seamless and pretty and nice, and then go about your day. So that's why I'm just kind of powdering, so that the powder products go on top nice and smooth, and they don't sort of stick to any more like dewy or sticky sort of patches on the skin. And then I'm just going to kind of press away that bake, so I only leave it on there for like a few seconds really. The only thing I hate about this powder is the packaging. Like, look at the mess, because now I'm going to shut this. I'm scared. Yep, it's gone all over the dog. It's just a mess. Like, who thought of that packaging? I love the size of it because you get such good value for money, but who thought of that packaging, honestly? Okay, so now I'm looking at the ghost of Christmas past. I'm going to go in with some bronzer because I need it today. This is one of my kind of oldie but goodie bronzers. Like, I've had this for so long, as you can see, but I really do love this, and every time I use it, I'm just like, this is amazing. This is the Honey bronzer from The Body Shop. Mine's broken and used and abused. This is in the shade 01, and it's just a really nice bronzer for pale skin. If you've got more fair skin like myself and you don't want to look like overly orange or too bronze like unnaturally, then this is a really lovely shade and formula for you. So I'm just using this brush from HNB Cosmetics. It's a really lovely brush for bronzer and blush. I have been obsessed with my Anastasia one recently, and I still do love that one, but recently I've been using this as well because it's a little bit more flat and it kind of gets into the hollows of your cheekbones a little bit better. Yeah, I'm just kind of hitting that bronzer in the usual spots, so around my forehead, kind of on my cheeks and in the hollows of my cheeks. I'm not being too precise with this because I'm not really going to contour or anything like that. Okay, so now for blusher, I'm going to go in with one of my favourites. This is the Milani Luminoso blush. It's just a really nice kind of pinky coral colour. It's got a little bit of glow to it, so it's perfect for Christmas. I nearly always put on too much blush in my YouTube videos, so I'm going to try and actually be a little bit more sensible today and go in with a little bit more of a less amount so I don't look like a clown. For once. This blush has got such a nice formula though, so it goes on quite light and you can always like build it up. And I like to take my blush a little bit higher, sort of on my cheekbones, like this direction, not so much like down here. Just, I feel like it just helps to kind of lift the face a little bit more. So for highlighter, I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild. This is the Mega Glow highlighter powder in the shade Blossom Glow. I talked about this in my favourites video as well. It's just a really lovely kind of rosy toned highlighter, and it's really beaming, so it's like perfect for the festive season in my opinion. So I'm just going to focus the majority of the product right on the highest point of my face, and then once it's kind of on there, I'm just going to kind of blend that out. As you can see, this is a very beaming highlighter, so you don't need a lot of this. I personally really like a beaming highlighter, but if you're someone who likes more of a kind of natural, understated, lit from within glow, then this probably isn't the one for you, because it's quite obvious that you've like got highlighter on, but at the same time it's not glittery or chunky. It's really inexpensive as well. I'm just going to take a little bit on the tip of my nose and this kind of bridgy bit of my nose. Okay, so because I have used quite a lot of like powders on my skin today, usually I would use a little bit more creams, but because we're going to kind of do our makeup in a little bit more of a kind of quicker way, I am using a little bit more powder, and for that reason my skin does look a tiny little bit kind of drier and powderier. Powder isn't a word, but you know what I mean, than it would usually do. So I am just going to go in with some MAC Fix Plus. Obviously this isn't drugstore, but you can use any setting spray that you have for this, just to make your skin look a little bit more kind of, you know, juicy, and make all of the powders mesh into one, and your skin to look a little bit more glowy. And then I'm just going to kind of wait a few seconds for this to really kind of sink into my skin before I do anything else. I'm going to move on to brows and eyes now, but I don't want to touch anything until this setting spray is kind of fully dry, obviously. So I'm just going to do my brows now, and then I'm going to move on to my eyes after that. And I've been doing my brows in a slightly different way to what I've been doing my brows in the past. So what I like to do is take this product here, which is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. I have mine in the shade Ash Brown, which is the perfect colour for my brows, because my brows are quite sort of like cool toned, a little bit grey and still quite dark brown. So this is a perfect colour for me. Obviously I'm just going to brush through my brows first, just to sort of reveal the natural shape, and then I basically just fill them in, you know, how I usually would with this pencil. So I'm just going to go in and do kind of little strokes and sort of fill in the brows where I feel like I need any extra like filling in, if there's any gaps or anything like that. I kind of do that little line thing underneath, which I used to hate doing that, but I sort of rub it out in a minute, as you'll see. So obviously you can still see that line kind of underneath, so I just go in lightly with the spoolie to kind of mesh that in more with my brows, and then you kind of can't really see it. Okay, so once the brows are all filled in, I've been taking my Pears soap. This is the blue one, but it's exactly the same as the traditional like orange one that you've seen before. And I'm just going to spray it with some setting spray. You can use any setting spray or even water for this. I'm literally just going to put the tiniest little bit onto my soap. Then I'm going to take the most dusty, crusty, musty spoolie that you've ever seen in your life. This is disgusting. I need to get a new one. But I'm just going to kind of, you know the drill, kind of just rub this in the soap. I used to do this a slightly different way. I used to actually do the soap first and then I would fill them in, and it just didn't, it used to just take me way too long to do that method, even though I liked the way it looked. But now doing it this way around, it's a lot quicker, and I still really like the kind of finished result. So I've just got a little bit of soap on this spoolie, and I'm just going to kind of brush through my brows. If you don't do this technique, then I would highly recommend at least trying it, because it is so good to keep your brow hairs all in place. Like, I used to use brow gel like there was no tomorrow, but brow gels can be expensive, especially if you want a good one. I was obsessed with the Anastasia Beverly Hills one, but it was like £23. And honestly, this does exactly the same, if not better, and it's literally like 50p for that bar of soap. So once we kind of get to this stage with the brows, I am going to leave them here, because obviously this is kind of like a quick and easy tutorial. You can also though go in with a brow pen at this point and really kind of define the brows even more. I usually prefer doing that, and to be honest it doesn't take that much longer, but I've actually lost my brow pen. I've looked high and low in this house, and can I find it? No. I don't know where it's gone. I don't know what I've done with it. I used to have the Estee Lauder one, and it's not cheap, so I'm really gutted that I've lost it. I literally have no idea where it is. So we're not going to do that, but you can do that if you want a little bit more definition in your brows. So now on to the eyeballs. I can't be bothered to like put primer on or anything, so I'm just going to kind of press out any creases, and then I'm just going to powder, I think. I'm just going to go in with the powder brush that I use. There's no extra product on this. I'm just going to use whatever's left and just sort of powder my eyelids. Right, so for eyeshadow palette today, you can literally use like any palette that you have that's got like, you know, the kind of browns and golds in, or you can do whatever you want, like literally do whatever you want. But if you're going to follow this tutorial, this sort of shades I'm going to use, you can pretty much find in any palette that you have. But I'm going to use the Nude Mood one from Colourpop, because I've only used this once before and I really love the colours inside. They're just really beautiful, and to me they just scream festive Christmas, and yeah, I just really want to use this again today. Okay, so I'm going to take a Morphe M433, which is my favourite kind of crease brush at the minute. I'm first of all going to go in with this shade here, which is called Au Naturel, and this is a kind of perfect sort of light-ish brown. And I think I'm only going to literally use maybe 2 shades, maybe like maximum 3, but I don't want this look, like I said at the beginning, to be too sort of detailed and too complicated. I just want it to be really sort of realistic to what I would actually do on like a Christmas day or a Christmas kind of event. I'm basically just putting this on the outer corner of my eye and through my crease, but taking it a little bit above where my actual natural crease is. So I'm kind of almost creating a new crease. I'm kind of just whacking this on a little bit all over the place, and then just gonna blend it out. So it doesn't have to be too precise or anything like that. I love doing looks like this because I find that they're really effective, but they don't take long to do at all. And of course I am winging it out because that's how I like to do my eyeshadow. Right, so now I've kind of just loosely fluffed that colour through just above the crease of my eye. Obviously, as you can see, we need to do a little bit more blending. So I'm going to take this clean brush and I'm just going to sort of go on the edges of that shade, and I'm just going to sort of blend this out. You could use the same brush if you just sort of like wiped off the excess, but just to save time, I'm just going to pick up a completely fresh brush just to help me blend. You could actually use as well, I was just thinking that this kind of looks like a bronzer, so you could actually just use your bronzer for this shade. If you don't have a shade similar to this, you could just use your bronzer. So now what I'm going to do is go in with the shade which is bang in the middle, which as you can see is this beautiful kind of metallic shimmery gold colour. I'm actually just going to take this on my finger because in my personal opinion this is the best way to apply shimmers unless you use like a little bit of spray with a brush. But I'm just going to take this on my finger. As you can see, it's a really beautiful gold shade, and I'm just going to literally start by sort of pressing that onto my lid. And I'm going to kind of go like all over the place with this. So it's literally basically going to go over the whole lid. So I'm just picking up a little bit more on my finger and just applying even more because I want this to be like super metallic and gold. And then I'm taking that first brush we used to apply the brown, and I'm just going to kind of blend this in to that colour that we used, just so that we don't have any harsh lines of matte and shimmer. So just to add a tiny bit more dimension to the eyes, I'm going to take this shade here, which is the shade Wink Wink, which is, as you can see, sort of like a lighter, shimmery champagne colour. I'm going to take this on my finger. I don't know if this is actually even going to show up or do anything, but I'm just going to kind of press it in the centre of my lid, just to kind of give a little bit more glow. Yeah, you can see it. So this is the eyes kind of up close at the moment. So I am personally going to do a liquid eyeliner because I really like the way liquid eyeliner looks on my eyes, and I can do liquid eyeliner quite quickly at this point. If you're not so confident, I would personally just leave it and just skip this step completely and just do lashes. But if you do want to kind of like bring the look up a notch, I would recommend doing a little wing, and for that I'm going to use the MQNY waterproof pen eyeliner. I got this from Style Vanna. This was kindly gifted to me, but it's a really nice kind of fine tip eyeliner to do eyeliner with. So let me zoom you in a bit so you can see. So I'm just going to do kind of my usual way of doing eyeliner, which is a little line from the bottom of my lash line to kind of the edge of my brow, and then I'm going to go about 3/4 of the way up and sort of pull the line back down towards the centre of my eyelid. Okay, so both wings are on. They aren't the most even thing in the world, but they will do. They will do for now. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of an inner corner highlight now. So I'm going to use the same shade that we used sort of on the middle of our eyes, which is Wink Wink. I think that rhymed. I think I'm going to need a little bit of setting spray for this because it kind of looks like one of those shadows where it doesn't really pick up with a brush, but we're going to see. So I'm just taking this on a little brush and I'm just, okay, it does apply with a brush. Wow, it looks so nice in there. Okay, so feel free at this stage as well to add a little bit of shadow to your lower sort of like bottom of your lashes. What am I talking about? Yeah, the lower lash line. Feel free to add a little bit more brown or whatever you want. I'm going to leave it bare just because for me personally that's what I feel like suits my eyes and what I personally like my eyes to look like. So I'm not going to touch the bottom sort of waterline or lash line at all. What I am going to do though is just curl my eyelashes with my Surat eyelash curlers. These obviously aren't from the drugstore, but these are the best eyelash curlers I have ever used. So I use them all the time. I don't actually have eyelash curlers from the drugstore, I don't think. For mascara, I'm going to use this one. This is the Mascara Revolution. This is a super voluminous kind of big lashes mascara, so I really like using this one. So I'm just going to coat my lashes with this. Okay, so mascara is on. That mascara is insane. As you can see, my lashes look so long. They definitely are on the clumpier side, but I personally don't mind that. Okay, so I've just prepared a little pair of corner lashes because, as you guys will probably know by now, I don't like full strip lashes on my eyes. So this is actually the So Sue by Suzanne Jackson eyelashes in the style Envy, which are already 3/4 length. 3/4 eyeshadow. What am I talking about? They're already 3/4 eyelashes, but I cut them in half again because I just felt like they were just too much. So I'm just going to use that and just kind of put that on the outer corner of my eye just to lift my eye a little bit. I wouldn't always put on lashes for like Christmas Day or whatever, especially if I'm doing it more quickly. But if I was doing more of like a Christmas event makeup, if I do end up actually going anywhere this year, probably not, let's be honest, but I probably would put on a little lash. So right, so that is the eyes done. I did just off camera add a little tiny bit more mascara over the top of the lashes just to kind of blend them in, and just added a tiny little bit of bottom lash mascara just to kind of balance everything out. And now I'm going to move on to lips. So for lips, I'm going to go in with my Barry M Cosmetics lip liner in the shade Pose. This is one of my favourite drugstore lip liners. I have actually ordered a load of lip liners from Colourpop and also from NYX because I have come to realise that I don't really have that many drugstore lip liners, so I definitely need some more. But this is the one I'm going to use today. I'm going to slightly sort of overline my lips with this one. Yeah, so as you can see, this lip liner is a really nice kind of pinky tone. You could totally go with like a red lip for Christmas, which is so festive and pretty, but I personally eat my body weight in food and drink a load of stuff on Christmas Day, so personally for me, like, a red lip isn't really an option because I'd prefer to just have like a nude, something that I can just easily quickly sort of top up. But definitely do a red if you want to be a little bit more festive. So now on top of this lip liner, I am going to be putting a gloss, and this portion of the video is actually sponsored by Nova Cosmetics. So they have kindly sponsored this section of the video. They have sent me over 3 shades of their beautiful glosses, which I'm just going to quickly show you the shades, and then I'm going to show you my favourite one that I'm going to wear for today's look as well. So this is what the glosses look like. As you can see, they're all really lovely nude shades. We have the shade Vacation, Matcha and Coconut here. Kind of almost don't really need to wear like a lipstick when you wear these glosses. They're sort of similar to the NYX Butter glosses in a sense where they have quite a lot of pigmentation, but not too much where they're almost like putting on a full pigment lipstick. They are actually specifically called the Ultra Gel glosses, and these are actually vegan, which is so nice. It's so nice to see sort of more vegan brands popping up now. So yeah, here are the swatches here. We have the shade Matcha, Vacation and Coconut. So they are all beautiful, really sort of neutral, easy to wear shades. These would also suit a really sort of wide range of skin tones as well, which I love. So for today's look, I'm going to go in with the shade Vacation from Nova Cosmetics because this is a little bit more sort of pinky than the other two. The other two are a little bit more on the brown side, and it goes perfect with this liner as well. So that is the shade Vacation on my lips. As you can see, it's such a beautiful kind of rosy, pinky tone gloss. And you can see what I mean about the pigment. Like, you literally don't need to wear a lipstick when you wear these because it's fine just literally on its own. These also smell so good. Like, the actual scent of these is amazing. So yeah, I'm going to leave the website link and everything like that in the description box below so that you guys can check them out if you wish to. I would highly recommend. They are honestly lovely glosses and you get so much product in here as well. Right guys, and this is the finished makeup look. So this is my Christmas inspired makeup that I would personally wear on Christmas Day, or if we do end up going to any Christmas events, then I would definitely wear something like this. It's going to go with any outfit that you have, and it just looks really super cute and festive and sparkly. I hope you guys enjoyed this full drugstore makeup tutorial. If you guys did enjoy the video, then please be sure to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe if you haven't already. That would be absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.